Mate, if you ain't getting this one, then this one's for you.
Welcome guys, welcome back to EME TV. I'm pretty sure I've got the hang of this camera thing actually. The angle's looking alright today. But yes, welcome back to another video guys. Today, obviously, as the title says, you've seen I've made another purchase. I've got another car to hopefully make a profit on. Now this car is very like, what shall I say? It's very, not a car that I've been sort of looking at, but it came up for sale. I looked at the prices. I wanted to get it for the right price for me, that I feel like you would make a decent amount of profit on, which I think I have, and we'll go through that later in the video. And without further ado, I don't want to talk too much, but let's get into it.
Got enough of every melody, they all sound the same. Yeah, for my broken heart, no remedy, but maybe if you stay.
So there you have it guys, I literally bought a 2010 reg Fiat Punto Evo. Now these cars, a lot of the time when I used to look at Fiats, especially when I was trying to buy my first car, they were always like, they always had niggling problems. Fiats are known to like break down a lot, and they just seem to be unreliable cars. Now this one's not done too many miles. We'll get into that. By the way, it's raining, so I think I'm gonna do the rest of the talking inside the car. Rainy Manchester, typical. All right guys, you join me back in the car. So sorry about that. It's literally as I just started recording that part of the video, it just started raining. I have no idea where this came out of. I should have checked the weather. That's something I'm going to do in the future. I will check the weather before I film a video. But yes, I've gone out and bought a Punto Evo. Now, what do I think about these cars? These cars, for me, as we start up, it starts first time. For me, these cars are, then Fiat Puntos are known to be unreliable. They're known to be, you know, made out of plastic and so on and so forth. And for me, I've always stayed well away from them, because I believe that if there's a lot of people saying something about a certain car, I just tend to be very risk averse. So I don't want to go out, especially when I was looking for my first car, even though they're very cheap, I'd rather pay a bit more money in order to obtain something that I feel was very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very reliable. But this came out in the market, and especially the Puntos that I used to look at were Punto, like the regular Fiat Puntos, not the old, the shape before this. So we're talking 06, 07, 08, that shape. But I know in 2009 they made the Punto Evo, and I believe Punto Evos are only from 09, 10, 11, 12, I think. So they're only around for 4 years. They seem to be alright. I like the look of them as well. They and especially something that I've been thinking about is when you're trying to flip a car, when you get 1.8s, 1.6s, they can be harder to shift. Now this is 1.4, so in terms of insurance, petrol, small engines, especially when people are looking for runarounds, I think I've said in the previous videos as well that I like to buy runarounds, so good cars, good runners that people, well, are well desired as well. So yeah, I mean, this Fiat Punto has done, let's start it up. Let's go through the facts and figures, turn down the radio. Yes, done. No need to sing over that. But this has only done 84,500 miles. So this is 10 years old and averaged around eight and a half miles a year, which for me is decent, is very good. Now, it's a bit of a funny story about how I actually obtained this. And so, more or less, what happened was, I just finished work, obviously working from home, haven't gone back to the office yet due to the pandemic and so on. Hopefully maybe in a few more weeks when lockdown is eased, we'll be able to well, lockdown has been eased, but when it's eased furthermore, we'll be able to get back into the office. But anyway, we're not here for that. So I was obviously, in the evening, I was on Facebook Marketplace, which is where I get most of my vehicles from. We'll go into detail maybe in another video about that. But yeah, I was on Facebook Marketplace browsing through. I was just like, oh, let me just see if there's any decent cars I think up for sale. Now, I came across this car only 10 minutes before it had been 10 minutes after it had been advertised. So when I clicked on the ad, it said listed 10 minutes ago. I was like, phew. I mean, I've clicked on a decent one here. The guys put it up, and the price he was advertising the car at was £555. Now, as we know, oh, you might not know, but Fiat Punto Evos go for a lot more than that. They go for about double that for ones in decent condition, especially with this mileage. So I just asked him a few questions, you know, what's wrong with the car? Why are you selling it, this, that, and the other? He disclosed to me that he's selling it because, obviously, due to the pandemic, he doesn't need it because it was a car that was taking his kids to and from school, but obviously due to this, they're stuck at home till obviously later on in the year when schools reopen and maybe the kids will go back to school. So he didn't have a need, and it was actually his wife's car. So therefore, his wife wasn't actually driving it, and he's got his own car. So they didn't have the need to have the two cars. I said, all right, fair enough. I said, let me come. Well, to be fair, there's something. We started talking about price before I went to see it, which is something I try to avoid at all costs, because the thing is, I can agree a price now, we can agree a price, but until I see that car, and there might be things, especially now, people, you know, buying privately is something that people try to avoid. I know that. I, you know, tried to buy, well, obviously flipping, I have to sort of buy privately in order to get those deals, but it comes at a risk because the person you're buying it off necessarily doesn't give you all the details you need beforehand. So let's say they might be hiding a little leak somewhere, or they just know that something's majorly wrong and they don't want to disclose that because they want to get their money. We all know that. People say car salesmen are the worst people to buy from, but hey ho. But yeah, so I went over, I said, you know what? No, I didn't go over. We spoke about price. Sorry, I'm losing my thought process. So we spoke about price. He advertised it for £555, which for me is a very odd number. I don't know why you wouldn't just advertise it for 550 or 600. But when you advertise it for a weird number, for me, it means that you don't really know the price of the car and you don't really know how much they go for. You're probably just trying to get some money in that you probably, I don't know, want or so on. So I said, all right. I said to the guy, look, I'm very interested. I want to come and view the car and I will give you £400 for it. Now, I'm very against people that are, or especially on Facebook Marketplace. If you've ever advertised on Facebook Marketplace, you know that it is the one place, especially when you're selling cars, it's the one place that can drive you insane by the amount of people that just try to lowball you. It's ridiculous. And some of the time it's just like, you just don't know what you're doing. So you just, for me, I've obtained so many messages of people trying to give me like £250 for a fully working Astra.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
I mean, go to the scrapyard if you want something for £250. But so I said, I'll give you £400 for it. He said, he gave me a rebuttal and he went, he said, no, he said the final price is 500. No, I said, no, that's completely fine. I'm at 400. That's my, I like the 400 mark. And why I said 400 is because I believe if the car had any problems that I needed to deal with, I give myself a little bit of leeway to fix those problems before I obviously advertise it up. So I've said, no, 400 is a decent figure. Let me know if you would take 400 and I'll get back to you, and I'll obviously try and get to you as soon as possible. Give me your postcode. He's replied back, you know what, come and take it for 450. Now, the fact that he's gone down from 555 to 500 to 450 tells me that he's trying to get rid of the car. So I said, you know what, I'm not trying to play you about, but 400 it is for me. Let me know. If you'll take 400, that's completely fine. I'll be on my way. He replied back, no. Yeah, he replied back, no. What did he actually say?
A few moments later.
Yeah, he replied back saying no. 450 it is. So if you don't want to do 450, that's fine. I said, no, that's completely fine. But I knew he was going to get back to me because the way he went about and how quick he was replying back, I knew that he was trying to sell the car. Unless somebody else had already messaged him within that 10 to 15 minute window that he'd obviously had the car up, I knew he would probably come back to me saying either 425 or something. So I said, you know what? No worries. 10 minutes later, I got a text saying, come and get the car for 400. So I went over, I checked the car out, and something that he said as well, he tried to play me for, which always do ask about this, is this car didn't just come with the 1 key, it came with 2 keys. Now, something I sort of sometimes forget about are the number of keys. Now, he didn't advertise the car with 2 keys. He told me, give me 450 and I'll give you the spare key. And I said, no, 400, I'll give you 400 and you give me the spare key. You can't have people out there just having a key to your own car. It just doesn't really make sense. So I told him 400, give me the spare key. So he'd obviously tried to maybe sell the spare key and make a bit more money like that. I don't know how you would sell a spare key to a car that's already out there, but anyway, that's for them to know and for me to never know. But anyway, so yeah, I went to picked the car up and it's in fully working order, drives fine. You know what, I do want to go and put a bit of petrol in it because I haven't since I got it, so I guess we'll just go and get some petrol. So yeah, I've just put petrol in the car on my way back to my apartment. To be fair, I really like the drive of the car. I've never driven a Punto Evo Punto ever before, so when I got in it on my way back home after buying it, obviously I did a test drive and stuff and it was completely fine, very smooth. The one thing that isn't working though is the Punto Evos come with a start-stop function, which I didn't know. And he disclosed to me that the start-stop on this car wasn't working. And the reason that it wasn't working was due to the battery. Now the battery died one day and he went and bought a normal battery and put it in and the start-stop function stopped working. But I never knew that there was a different battery for cars that had the start-stop function. So therefore, this car, just the only thing wrong with this car is that it doesn't have the start-stop function. When you put it in, it starts off, for people that don't know, is when you put it in neutral, maybe at a traffic light, the car turns off, and when you put your foot back on the clutch and put it in gear 1, it starts again. For me, that's not a big issue because it's completely drivable and you can drive it like it is now. But the only thing is that for individuals who did want the start-stop, as I open my gate now, the start-stop battery is around £90. Now that could be a little worry when coming to sell it, but I don't think it's a big worry. People just like cars which run and drive. There's nothing wrong with the car. I've been driving it for the past day since I got it and it's been completely fine. So, you know, I'm as honest as I can be when I come to sell, which I think everybody should be. It avoids problems and it keeps customers happy, and it essentially keeps you happy if you're able to sell a car for the price that you want. So yeah, so we've got ourselves a Punto Evo up for sale currently, as I just park it back, and hopefully I've got a lot of interest already. It's been up for what, maybe a couple of hours, because I listed it yesterday evening. It's been up for a couple of hours. I've got loads of inquiries. There's people saying that they're gonna come today to come and view it, but as we know, Facebook, I'll believe it when I actually see somebody who's come to say I'm looking at the Punto. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Please subscribe if you like the content as well. Watch out for obviously the future videos that will be coming. Like the videos because it helps out the channel a lot. Thanks a lot for all your support. Leave comments as well as if you think I've made a decent purchase for a right amount of money and how much profit do you reckon we can actually make on this car. Well guys, thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned. I'm out. Peace.
Mate, if you ain't getting this one, then this one's for you.